Guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about my 7 main mistakes in sales and the 7 main learnings that if you guys are anything like me, these things are holding you back from getting where you want to be in business, in sales. If you're going to be starting an entrepreneurial journey, if you're on your entrepreneurial journey, if you already have a business that's doing well, these little mindset things are literally probably the biggest like mountainous roadblocks in your way that are preventing you from reaching success. And why, you may be looking at some of these and think, Alex, seriously, like these are kind of weird, kind of mean, dark type stuff. Well, that's exactly why they're the mistakes that are holding us back, because we all subconsciously see them as bad. And so we avoid these things, but these things are actually necessary and integral ingredients in the recipe of sales and in persuasion and in value, right? We are societally trained to avoid all of these things, to avoid value arbitrages, to avoid being better than someone else, to avoid having control over a conversation, to avoid dominance, to avoid ego, to avoid entitlement. These are all bad things to associate with. And that's why we all make this mistake, because we all avoid them. But they are necessary ingredients. And I'm not saying to be mean or whatever, but these things are necessary, and I'm going to share exactly why. These mistakes have cost me, tons of opportunity costs that I can't even fathom probably, and they're probably costing you as well. So if you are starting a business, you listen up. This is perfect for you. If you're on your business journey, if you're struggling, if you can't make sales, you have sales aversion. You don't want to make the lead calls. You don't want to hop on the sales call. You don't want to ask someone for money. You don't want to say the price. This is exactly your problem right here. If you don't want to say the price, if you don't want to hop on the lead call, if you don't want to make cold calls, if you have kind of an icky aversion to that, this is for you. Okay, so first off, guys, a preliminary here is that we're going to need experience in what we're selling, and how we can do that is by free work. Okay, or simply doing being good at something, or at least let's just say being okay, right? Because an okay soccer player is better than someone that's never played soccer before. And people are paying us to teach them how to play soccer because they've never done it before, right? Or we have a skill and the person just simply has no skill at all. So if you're an okay carpenter and someone's coming to you for carpentry, that's better than someone going to a pigeon for carpentry, because the pigeon cannot do carpentry. You can at least do it decently. So don't worry too much. You have to at least have some type of confidence and experience, right? And this free work, this gets you the experience, okay? And you just become better. So this will simply, increase volume and experience. The more like free work and experience you can get, the better. And this will just increase everything. All of these will increase when you just simply get more experience and you're better at what you do. Doing, you become better. Okay, this is important. You need to have valuable product. Okay, a lot of times people in business talk about the product is the be all end all, right? If people look at someone and that person's internal confidence is great, that's great. But are they actually that great as a person, right? The product. Okay. So I'm just going to make another arrow here. All of this has to, based on the fact that you do have at least product or potential to have a good product. Okay. You're not some scammer or some idiot, you don't know what you're doing. You really are just objectively very bad at what you do. No amount of confidence and authority and ego and entitlement is going to change that. But these are all internal traits that are going to, let's say, make your internal sales process just be literally so much less restricted. Because right now, I mean, guys, in the past several months, I didn't want to make a single lead call. I didn't want to make a single sales call because I cared so much and I was so nice and tiptoey. And I was like, you know what? I would just rather just not charge anyone any money and just go through my life, and I don't have to even own a business, because any type of business is icky. Business is icky. I'd rather just go through my life and pick flowers, because I can't fathom, asking somebody for money, because nothing's worth it in this life. Okay, good luck with that. So anyways, guys, you have to be okay with having authority. What does this mean? You've done something more than somebody else, and so you have authority over that conversation. You know more than somebody else about it. Face that fact. You know more than the person you're talking to on that Zoom call. Okay, you know more. You're better than them at the skill. You have more experience. You've been thinking about this longer than they have. You have authority, and that's value. That's a value arbitrage. So there's where they give you their money, because you know more than them. You are an authority. Teach them. Don't let them talk. Don't let them teach you about this. You teach them. You know more than them. You have higher value, and therefore they're paying for that higher value. That is sales. Okay, value arbitrage. You're up here. Here's your bar graph, and they're down here. So therefore, this difference is where they're going to pay you. Okay? That's the main learning here, guys, because I never wanted to be better than somebody else. I never wanted to be more dominant, more in control than somebody else, and have authority, have an ego. You have to have some entitlement. When you're doing lead calls, when you're hopping on the sales call, when you're asking for a lead to opt into your thing, yeah, we're going to want you to go all the way and fill out all of these questions and fill out all of this and fill out all of this calendar and put yourself on this calendar. Yep, you're going to have to click a couple times, bud. I'm sorry about that. You're going to have to fill out all your information on here. Yep, and if you want to speak to us, you're going to have to book in a time that works for your schedule. I can't you can't I don't you know what Alex, I can't talk on Zoom. I'm too busy. Hey, no problem. We'll see you next time, because guess what? This is how our appointments work, and if you want this product and this service that is pretty valuable, sorry, man, we have to have a Zoom call to do that. You're coming into the dental office? Yeah, sorry, we can't do dentistry from, in the backyard. Yeah, we have to do it in the office. Okay. So if you want to come in and get dental treatment, you have to actually come to the dental office. Okay. Um, so I'm sorry, bud, but this is how we do it. We have a valuable thing. You're going to have to actually work with us a little bit. Okay. So I'm entitled, right? And this sounds, you know what, Alex, you're sounding kind of like, kind of sassy and like, just a little bit aggressive. Yeah. Because guess what? Guys, I'm a nice guy. I'm actually a reforming nice guy. And this has prevented me from asking people for money. I wanted to be too nice. You know what? Oh, you can't do it on Zoom. Let's just do a call. You can't do it on here. Let's just do a call. Oh, guess what? Now, when we don't have that authority, when we are, let's say, too nice. Oh, Alex, you just did a nice thing. You accommodated that person. Guess what? They see this as low value. It's human psychology. It's human psychology. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't care if we're being nice or not. I'm doing what actually the true principles of value and human psychology have to say, and I'm simply aligning with nature. I'm aligning with nature and with human psychology. Okay, this is how it goes. You have to accept these things if you want to ride the wave of sales and of life. You have to hop on the board and ride the wave. Okay, you can't surf backwards. Okay, so we're surfing forwards here. So with that comes a little bit of ego. You're an expert. Okay, are you going to be are they teaching you, if you're a dentist, are you going to accept, is the patient going to teach you about dentistry, or are you going to teach them? Are you going to let them act like they know more about it, or are you going to have the ego to be like, you know what, I'm the dentist here, and therefore they're going to listen to me, and I'm going to tell them exactly what the best solution is in this case. And so you could call that ego. Okay, accept it, guys. Accept it. Let it sink in. Breathe it in deep, because this is how it is. Okay, control. I control the appointment for my business. I am the service provider. I control the appointment. Okay, I control the convo. Are you letting somebody else control the convo? Are you letting the prospect control the convo? Yeah, tell me what's your price? What's your price, man? No, sorry. We actually have to learn more about and see if this is a good fit. If you don't have time to have a real conversation with us, unfortunately, we won't be able to help. Sorry, this is how we do things at our business. Okay, no problem. On to the next. Okay, so I control that. I control the combo. I control our intake. Abundance mindset. Like I just said, if someone is being kind of a jerk, and guys, flip the script a little bit. Are they being a little bit rude in this case? Yeah, they are actually. I would never be that disrespectful to somebody, to a service provider. You know, that's how they do things there. And if I'm not going to follow the protocol, then I probably have to go somewhere else. Okay, and so a little bit of dominance, right? Same thing. We're dominating the conversation. We have control. We have the value and the authority and the leverage here. If the customer is always right, but I don't necessarily know if I even agree with that. The customer, I try to have as good customer service as possible, guys, but you always have to remember who is the service provider here, and you have to control, especially for people to people businesses. Don't let the customer walk all over you, because this is where most people actually, they err on the side of letting the customer walk all over them. Okay. In relationships, we end up being too nice. Girl walks all over you. If there are any ladies watching, I love y'all, but how many of you guys actually run the relationships? All of you. Every single female runs their relationship these days. The dudes, unfortunately, we're all too nice. We need to gain a little bit of our power back. Okay. Trust yourself. Right? What does this come with? Trusting yourself. Trusting yourself and your ability and your competence. And this goes back to ego. Have an ego. You have competence, right? You have skill. Trust yourself. Follow your own lead. Don't follow everyone else's lead. Follow your own lead. Okay? And from all this, I don't care anymore, guys. I don't care. I don't give an F. Okay? I don't care. Why are we tiptoeing around being too polite, manner, all this stuff? Let's just be to the point. Business owners love straight and to the point. So the less you care and the more you seem like you're maybe being a little bit disrespectful or you're not having the best manners, actually, the more money you'll get. So tell me how that works. And honestly, once you stop caring, it's kind of letting go of these limiting beliefs of these words are good or bad. They have good or bad connotations. These things have all prevented me from growing my business. People have seen me as an embarrassment. I've seen myself as an embarrassment. I've been weak. And guess what? I used to not call my leads because I was too worried about bothering them. I didn't want to ask them for money. Like, why am I even here? I'm here because they wanted me to reach out. I'm here because they opted into something that I put out there and they wanted to learn more. Yes, there's a fine line when now you're chasing that lead and you're trying to hunt them down. If you have that frame of, dude, this person reached out to me. If they're interested, they're going to answer or they're going to respond. If not, like, cool, opt out, please. Like, I don't want to bother you. So let me know. You know what I mean? It's taking that step back a little bit and having more of an abundance mindset and keeping in mind that they have that need too. You're not needing their money that much. Another one, guys, is being too needy for money and having an abundance mindset. Let's go down here. Let's say some bonus ones. Bonus ones is always have an abundance mindset, aka be able to walk away. You might be thinking, Alex, I'm broke. I have $0. That's your first problem. The hungry never get fed. Hungry never get fed. Okay, so that's your first problem. Be patient. Patience. If you need money today, yeah, you're in a bad spot. So try to not need it as much. Okay, do something else. Get a 9 to 5 or something. Abundance. Nah, yeah, no, okay, no worries. We'll chat. We'll chat. Some. Nah, we actually won't. But have a good one. We're done here. Okay, abundance. Hungry never get fed. I don't need your sale. I'm here to provide a service that you wanted. Okay. And I'm patient. I know that more are going to come because I'm putting myself out there and I have an attractive offer because we provide an awesome product and an awesome service and people love working with us. I sound pretty gruff and aggressive right now, but I actually love all my clients and my customers and we do great work and we have great relationships. So tell me how that's bad. All of these things that we're talking about are bad. Abundance, hungry never get fed, patience. These are bonus tips. These are things that I've literally not had any of these. And I'm learning them just now, like years into my journey. So let's leave it at that, guys. Let's keep this video short. These are the main mistakes in sales, growing your business, and entrepreneurship. If you don't have these down and you do try to start a business, you're going to be behind the 8 ball because let's put it right here. You don't value yourself. Value yourself. You're chasing. If you find yourself ever just feeling like you're chasing, red flag. If you find yourself ever feeling like you're bending or catering to someone else, red flag. These are my red flags. Bending, chasing. These are signs that you need to follow these tips that I just laid out here. Okay. If you ever find that you're doing these things, red flag, red flag. If you find, so chasing, bending and catering, allowing them control, red flag. Why is this a red flag? Because you don't go into businesses and tell them what you expect and what you want. And think about that mindset. When you do, if you have ever, just think about a time where you didn't really respect that business a little bit. You're like, nah, what's the price? I'm just curious. You probably weren't going to buy. Let that sink in. People that are serious about actually buying something, they're not going to be disrespectful and they're not going to bulldoze the salesperson. They're not going to bulldoze the cashier. No, no, no. Just tell me what no, no, no. Just tell me when my appointment is. No, no, no. Just tell me what, ma'am, why don't you actually leave? Because this isn't a good relationship here. You don't respect us. This is relationships. This is relationships and human psychology. So my main mistakes in sales and life have been not respecting the laws of relationships, not respecting the laws of human psychology, and also um, not respecting the laws of value psychology and not valuing myself more. I always would assume that being nicer and bending over more was nicer, but actually raising yourself is what you should actually do. You would think, oh, in order to get that sale, I have to, be nicer and lower myself. Whereas the exact opposite is true. So let's go back over these relationships, human psychology. Focus on these bigger, way more arching ways that you view interacting with other people, business, dating, life, what people are attracted to, what people want to watch, what they're interested in, value, right? Raise yourself, make your scene better, more attractive, get that value arbitrage over them, be dominant, okay? Be better than them. Never chase. If you find yourself chasing, red flag. Find yourself bending, catering, red flag. When you find yourself allowing the other person control, red flag. Why? Because we're a business owner. We're providing something of value. So the more we act submissive and stuff and submissive, like that person actually has more value over us. We should be paying them, right? So no. Abundance, hungry never get fed, patience, I don't give a crap mindset. Why do we have that again? So that we can let go of all these stupid beliefs. I need to have manners. I want to tiptoe around. This is like a really good cheat code. Literally, if you just don't care, a lot of these are going to melt away a little bit and you'll actually be able to focus more on some of these up here. So get experience, obviously, free work, increase your volume, be good at what you do. If you have, this is just an obvious one because why are you starting a business, something you've never done, right? So you should be good at something and have a skill that you can then sell, right? Let's just remember that, guys. We can't just go, oh, I want money. I want to take other people's money. You guys realize that you have to sell something of value, right? That's something interesting to other people. Okay. Just wanted to make that sure. So I'll put that as number one here. Authority, right? I've made something of value. I have authority. I know a little bit about this topic. I know if I'm selling vacuum cleaners, yeah, I know a little bit about vacuums. I know why this one's good and why you're going to want to buy it because it has value. So I'm authority. I'm telling them. Okay, that's how you make sales. I'm entitled, right? I'm here to sell you because you came to my store and you wanted to buy a vacuum cleaner. Like, so stop feeling sad and bad about that. Okay, literally just be more comfortable. Stop caring. Ego, control the conversation, dominance. You don't let the person come in and bulldoze you with their questions. You take control. This is how we actually consult with you in order to see if we can come up with a treatment plan that's going to fit your needs, right? A little bit of dominance there. Yeah, buddy, we are better than you. You want us to dominate you and prove that? No, it's a subtle dominance. Okay, I know more about this. I'm going to control the conversation, right? I hope this helped, guys. Stop looking at all these as bad, good, whatever. These are things that have literally probably cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, ruined my entire entrepreneurial career up until now, and big unlocks that are really now going to help propel me forward. Have a respect for yourself, please. Literally, just take a step back and don't need the sale. If you start needing the sale, if you're getting clingy and needy, just chill for a sec. Patience, right? Patience. Let it come. Okay, guys. Business is going to take a while. Okay. That being said, I'll see you in the next one. Hope this helps.